Epic music. This is going to be good.
Hello, I'm Eli Cannon. I'm the art director of World of Warcraft. I'm here today along with some of my co-developers. At the time, we were all level designers, and we want to talk to you about creating the world of Northrend for Wrath of the Lich King.
I am Sarah Bouillon-Barrel, and I'm currently one of the lead level designers on the World of Warcraft team. Back when we were creating Northrend, I was a senior level designer.
I'm Aaron Keller. I'm the game director of Overwatch, and for Wrath of the Lich King, I was one of 2 lead level designers on the project.
This is the new Jeff. Okay.
So Northrend is one of the most infamous locations of all of Azeroth. That's something that we have had in our lore since the beginning.
I love Northrend. I think it's one of the best continents they ever made, but I didn't like Icecrown. I wanted it to be an Arctic wasteland, and it seemed too much like like different levels of citadels. I didn't like Icecrown as much. I like I guess it's not even really that I didn't like it. It's more that I expected it to be a lot different based off of what we saw in Warcraft 3.
It was one of the main settings for the RTS game, and it spawned some really amazing characters like Arthas.
Oh, shit.
Building his world, building the place that so much of his history took place in was a really exciting opportunity for us. And of course, it's someplace we knew we always wanted to come back to, and Wrath of the Lich King was the perfect time to do that.
A level designer on World of Warcraft is actually a little bit different than it is in most of the game industry.
There it is.
We are a true hybrid between art and design.
Level designers have a totally different set of responsibilities from project to project.
I think that Wrath of the Lich King had the best scenic design of pretty much any expansion they've ever made. Like, I think it had the best scenic design. Like, I think that it puts BFA in the dirt. It puts MOP in the dirt. Like, it's not even... Like, Kunlai Summit was great, and I think Valley of the Four Winds was great. The other ones were just, like, mid, in my opinion. I feel like Borean Tundra, especially... One thing that, like, I really think about a lot with Wrath of the Lich King is how diverse the zones are. You think about, like, how different Borean Tundra feels whenever you're in the keep of the Alliance versus fighting the Scourge versus fighting the Vicryl versus doing the Nesting Worry dailies versus being in Caldara versus, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it was like and Grizzly Hills was the same way, right? You in the mountains, right? Felt completely fucking different than like the metal Dark Iron or the Iron Dwarves. And like that felt totally different than like the like super like Warcraft 3 Alliance and Horde theme that half of the patch had. And then like the werewolves that are involved and Stalvin's there. It was Stalvin or somebody, right? I forgot. Argyle. Yeah, it was Argyle. That was so good. Legion was similar, but I think for its time, Wrath of the Lich King it's the GOAT. It is the GOAT, and nothing came close. Like, especially for its time.
Overwatch, a level designer, is responsible for all of the initial geometry. For the WoW team, the level designers are responsible for designing and building.
That's my favorite part of Northrend.
One of the core tenets of creating World of Warcraft is thinking about gameplay and thinking about the player. For a level designer, that really does translate back into how does the player interact with the world. And one of the main ways you're doing that is navigating it, right? Moving around in the world.
So we start...
One thing that I feel is super important, and New World did this incredibly well, is framing a scene. Like, for example, like a great example of this is, remember whenever you would leave Stormheim and you would be riding towards Suramar and you would see in like that giant valley and you would see Dalaran framed in like in the middle of that giant valley? That is S tier. That is so fucking good. And New World does a phenomenal fucking job at this too. Like, you can say a lot of bad shit about New World, and I'll agree with you. But the one thing you've got to say is they did some incredible fucking framing for scenes and designs. It was unbelievable, man. Log in and show us. I will at some point.
Start with working with the art teams to come up with the biomes and ideas of what the visual language of the world's going to be. And then on the design side, we think about the spacing, the layouts, the way the gameplay will flow through the spaces.
Where are all the roads leading people to?
Yeah, I think also Wrath had like the perfect balance of like whenever you think about Burning Crusade, a lot of the zones in Burning Crusade were kind of pointless. There wasn't really a lot going on there, but I think Wrath had a much better mix of world building and also quest and level design.
Design all of that, and then they actually build it.
So we start with a 2D map laying out on paper what the landscape is going to look like from a really high-level perspective. Then we get up into the editor and we start our rough 3D, which is where we're blocking in the spaces.
Yeah.
So when we're concepting a zone, it's really great to have one image that really defines what the zone is. And
I agree with that.
It'll handle a lot of things. It'll handle the mood and it'll handle the color.
Yeah, like I mean that's so good. Bro, like what says Borean Tundra more than this one right here? This is phenomenal. The only thing I would say is like instead of this have like dragon in the background or something like that. Yeah, it's just fucking perfect. I love Borean Tundra. I'm not a boring tundra. I'm not a boring tundra enjoyer. I am a Borean Tundra guy. I thought it was fucking amazing. I loved it.
Palettes of the zone, all of those sorts of elements would be represented in this postcard image, and we call it a postcard because it's kind of like what you would buy at a convenience store and send back home as like a representation of the most ideal version.
That's
of this
really
place.
smart, actually.
With Northrend, we wanted players to experience this land, this whole...
Whoa, hold up.
Northrend, we wanted players to...
Which one is this? Is this Grizzly Hills? I don't know. It could be, maybe? Yeah, it's like I was starting thinking like maybe Howling, maybe like Howling Fjord with like the lifts right there. Yeah, that's what it could be. Whenever you, because like in my opinion, like you think about like again framing. Whenever you come into Howling Fjord, if you're an Alliance player, you go under that ship that's like crashed, and then you go inside of this like cave, and then you come back around and you see like this giant fucking citadel for the Vicryl, and then if you're Horde, you see these like massive steps above you, you know? Yeah, remember the intro was so fucking good. It's like, that's what I feel like games should try to have. They should try to have moments that feel like cutscenes, but they're not.
Experience this land, this whole continent that felt larger than life.
Oh, shit.
Northrend presented a bunch of new opportunities and challenges for us. We'd worked, of course, on Burning Crusade before this and the original release of World of Warcraft. And when we got into Northrend, we really tried to evolve the way that we were thinking about world design and the way that we were thinking about large elements in the world.
I think they did.
We knew we were going somewhere in the north, right? And that was a really important aspect of it. And so a couple of us on the team, myself as well as Eli Cannon, had lived in the Pacific Northwest.
The beautiful mountainscapes, the
it was so
peaks,
good, man.
Even the evergreen forests of Washington and the Olympic Forest there. All of these things really played into inspiring us when we were thinking about building out Northrend.
Building a massive continent like this is a huge amount of work.
Everything that...
It's a lot. I bet it is. It takes a long time. Grizzly Hills is the best zone they ever made. I think Grizzly Hills is the second best zone they've ever made. I think the best zone in all of WoW is the original Red Ridge Mountains from Vanilla WoW. That is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of Warcraft. You know, it feels the most like WoW to me. Yeah, like that's what it is for me. Now Grizzly Hills is number 2 though. It's number 2.
At that time was hand-drawn because we didn't have the height map-based texture blending technology that we have today.
At this time, there was no measurement tool. We were trying to measure how high things were. And so what we ended up doing as a level design team is we would bring pirate ships in to the editor, and we would stack them on top of each other. And so the pirate ship sort of became like our yardstick for how tall things were in the game. So it's like, oh, this cliff is 2.5 pirate ships tall. So then we would know like what the difference is and how to manage something like that going forward.
We spent, I think, 3 or 4 months just playing with the editor and pushing it and just trying to figure out what could we get out of the tools that we had that we hadn't sort of tapped fully previously. One of those things was the copy-paste tool. So we found a lot of success using copy-paste tool in Outland, but we used it to an entirely different level in Northrend, and ultimately allowed us to put things together like Ice Crown Glacier in very small amount of time and still have it look very refined and very hyper detailed in a way that we wouldn't have been able to achieve before.
It was a huge increase in quality.
Fantastical redwood forest with, you know, trees with massive girth and excessive height, and a place that you could really get lost into. One of the level designers really wanted to make villages throughout this forest that would have been maybe built from the trees. And then we had this race, we call them the trappers. So this level designer said, you know, I've got a log. I bet I could make log cabins for them. And so
that's, see, like, I love this shit. Because I used to have, did any of you guys, whenever you were kids, have like those little Lincoln logs where you could put them on top of each other and make like these little wood houses? Yeah, I had that shit too, yeah. Like, bro, it was so nostalgic for me to see this. I loved it.
He took a single log prop, and by scaling it and duplicating it, he built bridges, fences, entire ecosystem for this one very minor race at the time. And it was amazing.
Another really interesting zone that we created for Northrend was Borean Tundra. It was an extremely unique challenge for the team. And that we had,
like, I honestly thought this was great. Like, I really like this a lot. Like, Borean Tundra, as I said, I feel like the zones in Wrath were probably one of the biggest steps up. Like, the Cataclysm zones were okay, but I felt like they were about the same quality as Wrath. The only thing that made the Cataclysm zones a lot different is the fact that the Cataclysm zones didn't have the same level of, what's really the word for it? Like, they didn't have the same level of, like, there was a lot more verticality in them, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's an easier way to put it. Yeah, a lot more verticality in it.
To blend a bunch of very disparate colors together. We had a really bright yellow and red palette, and we had something that was almost a sage green color. To do this, we created what we call a brain technique, and it's basically a repeating pattern on the ground that you don't see unless you're over the top of it. But it gives you a sense of gradation of color and changes in the texture of a large flat ground plane, which is exactly what Borean Tundra was. It was just a big open vast tundra space. Didn't have a lot of trees, didn't have a lot of bushes, so it was really important to try to create something very interesting visually to look at as you were looking across this big vast open space. And we did it with color.
So when we were designing Howling Fjord, we knew that this was going to be the drop-off location for Alliance players. And we really wanted them to sail through this.
This is exactly what I said. This is exactly the thing that I fucking said, man. This is it. Yeah, that's the Howling Fjord right here.
Narrow, impossibly tall cavern through this fjord.
Yeah.
These boats are really big. And so to just get one to be able to turn around and go back the other direction took so much space.
Someone had an idea of, what if we do like a sea cave tunnel that the ship can go into so we can come in at the correct radius and then go back down the canyon. That was a fun challenge because it was at ocean level and had to be filled with water, and it was an interior water, which is different from the exterior water.
They were two separate pieces of water. We had to put a small rim of rocks between the inside and the outside so that you couldn't see where the two bits of water came together.
I never fucking saw that. Holy shit. Wow. Like, I feel like I'm usually one of those guys that, like, I'll see, like, you know, I see what's going on, right? Because, like, I was one of the kids whenever we were like, really young, I would watch the animation, and I would see, like, everything animated, and then, like, the barrel has, like, it's animated completely differently with completely different textures and coloring, and I'm like, something's gonna happen to this fucking barrel. Bugs Bunny walks by the barrel blows up. Like, I first fucking saw that. I never noticed this water ever, man.
It looked kind of funny when the boat is going through it, but it was like a huge technical challenge, and the first time we'd ever done anything like that.
So in Sholazar Basin, I have kind of a personal story. During development of that, I got engaged, and my fiance had some issue with my ring. And so I was talking about it with the quest designers working on the zone, and they got inspired by this story and decided they wanted to put us and a little bit of our story into the zone. And so his name's Chad, and he has a quest that you can get where you have to find the ring that he lost, and it's somewhere in Sholazar Basin.
So she's responsible for this shit? Am I the only person that fucking took forever to get that goddamn motherfucking ring? I had to kill like 20 mobs, 50 mobs for that fucking ring. Remember that? God damn it, man.
I'm the innkeeper, and so it's a fun little story, and I think you actually get a ring as well as for part of your quest reward there.
It was one of my career highlights to be able to build this really expansive environment with all of the different zones that we created. And it wasn't just what we made, but it was all the people that we did it with. It was all the ideas of everybody on the team that really made Wrath like such a cool expansion.
The Wrath of Lich King expansion is still one of my favorite expansions. It really has impacted my life in such a positive way. I'm still working on the game, right? Like I've stayed here all these years because I still love making World of Warcraft.
This is one of our favorite expansions.
I cannot wait for players to re-experience Northrend.
I'm really looking forward to Wrath Classic launching later this year.
I'm so excited for all of you to get to revisit and come back to Northrend with us.
It was a good time, man. It was a good fucking time. Now the only thing they need to do... The only thing they need to do is a new Arthas cinematic. If they ever did a new Arthas cinematic, like that's all we need. Yeah, just real quick, like get a new Arthas cinematic out there and it's gonna be all right, man. Yeah, pretty different tone. You think you do but you don't? No, because like this is the thing, right? Is that these are just, you've got to remember, like these are not the people that are these people, this guy's the art director, right? So he's actually, like, he doesn't have time to fuck around with stuff. Like, he's actually doing his job. Like, these are people that are, you know, passionate about the game. There's a lot of people that work at Blizzard that are not these crazy, depraved, fucking sex fiends that are going around drunk drinking breast milk. That most of the people that work at Blizzard are like this guy, this lady, and this guy. They're just people that like fantasy stuff. They're just nerds that just like playing video games. Yeah, I mean, it's common sense, man. They're the good guy. Yeah, that's it. Kind of a cinematic, though. I don't know. It surprised me. You know what I mean? Careful what you wish for. It's going to be some fucked up monkey paw. I don't know about that. What's this here? They still have a nav project file they can re-render in higher resolution. I think people did that like in post-production, like with like they download it and then they fucking do it. It was like with an algorithm or some shit, right? But yeah, it's not going to be as good, of course. And yeah, but they're 10 bosses, probably bad people. Well, I don't want to say they're bad people. I have no idea. The thing is that the WoW team and Blizzard probably has gone through hell. And here, this is logic, right? So Blizzard just got audited effectively by the by the state government. A lot of big companies literally pay accounting firms a lot of money every year to audit them, and even extremely rich people do this as well to make sure that their books are right. So they basically pay to get audited in the same way that the IRS would audit them. And what would happen? This is the exact same thing that would happen with Blizzard. So the odds are that pretty much everybody that's still working at Blizzard is probably not that much of a piece of shit, because they just got audited by the fucking state, by the state government, right? For 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that there are not bad people that still work at Blizzard. I think that it is inevitable. It is guaranteed that there are bad people that still work at Blizzard. However, there are not a bunch of people that think that way. You know, like there are not. And let's see, a Shadowlands Season 4 date announced August 2nd. Oh, shit. Like, wait, what? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is 3 minutes ago. This is 3 minutes. Holy fuck, bro. Well, let's see here. Ashen of Creation. Yeah, I'll look at that after this. World of Warcraft news and catch up. Okay, read full article. All right. World of Warcraft news and development updates. Buy Dragonflight now. Yeah, whatever. Season 3 is now coming to an end, and our experimental Season 4 will begin in a weekly reset the week of August 2nd. Tuning adjustments are going to happen. Okay, let's see here. We're made to certain classes. You know, fuck Blizzard. Fuck this shit-ass company, man. Fuck this dog shit-ass garbage company. I can't believe that they fucking... People getting excited for Dragonflight. Bro, that shit's gonna flop, man. Wrath of the Lich King, I've been there. I've done that. That's it. I'm out. Like, this is some bull motherfucking shit. Like, it's a deserved nerf. It was fun while it lasted. It was fun while it lasted. Warriors were fucking ridiculous. Let's be honest. They were fucking ridiculous. I hope that they tune down some of the other classes too. Like, rogues are, no, really. Like, I'm not memeing. Like, rogues were really, really fucking annoying to play against. Like, I think that they're tuning down a lot of classes. Like, you're right. Like, warriors were, like, really strong. They were really, really, really strong. In Arena. Absolutely. Like, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Let's look at the other stuff here. And rogues are still the most insane class in the game. Yeah, but like if you look at the representation, it was just insane. Wrath of the Lich King beta has begun. I'm not that worried about that. I mean, it's not really much to go on with the Wrath of the Lich King beta. If they give me a free level 80, that would be great, because that way I can try the new Nax out. But other than that, I'm not really too interested in leveling or doing any of that stuff. Hot fixes, loading screen, amazing. So they've got. I think this looks like maybe a new one. I don't know. Loading screen wallpaper. Oh, no, that's for Exile's Reach. I'm just not used to seeing that. Screenshot spotlight. That's cute. This week in Shadowlands. Upcoming stuff. Okay. Yeah, all this is nice. So basically, they're ending Season 3 on August 2nd. Then Season 4 is coming out. That's crazy. I mean, I'm glad to see this. I actually think that Season 4 is such a good idea for Blizzard, because the game is in a lull, right? Let's be honest, in both ways to say it. It's in a lull. And just try some new shit, because like you need to do some new stuff and see what's going to happen. Take some risks. I think that the brawl system that they have for PvP is great, and I hope that they continue making new modes for that and testing them through the brawl system as a way for players to kind of give preliminary feedback if the content's good or not. I think that'd be a really good idea. So many people want to come back for Season 4? Yeah, well, I mean, like, I mean, I've already been playing the game, like, off and on. But, yeah, of course I'm going to play before. Yeah, sure. You need to get Glad soon? I know. I know. I'm actually kind of fucking stressed out, because this is, like, less than a month. I've got to get 50 wins at 2,400. They just nerfed my fucking class. How the fuck am I going to win? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So, like, I'm going to tell you guys how I got Gladiator last season, okay? This is how shameless I am. So, basically, we were losing a lot of games at 2,500. It was the last day of the season. Things weren't going well. Grayson had an idea. Let me log on to my Shadow Priest that I have never played since Castle Nathria. And we will get your Gladiator wins from farming people in my placement games. And I farmed 1,700 players for my Gladiator mount. Man, that's so many. Like, winning feels so much better whenever you're not supposed to win.